Most bad habits are not about feeling good and rather about just trying to stop feeling bad. And when we indulge in these bad habits or behaviors, it's not even that we really like them that much. It's actually more so that we just can't stand how we're currently feeling. But here's the reframe most people miss. Discipline isn't forcing yourself to feel better. It's learning how to feel uncomfortable without immediately acting on it. And in this video, I'll show you how to handle that exact moment of temptation so you can make one better decision even when you don't really feel like it. And this isn't just theory for me. These exact decisions I've had to practice over and over again to stop defaulting back to the same habits that were holding me back. Now let's start with the real problem here. We're pursuing escape, not pleasure. It's repeatedly escaping a present reality that you don't like. And that's really it. Most of the time, it's not even that we find them appealing. The video games, the scrolling, the porn, the drinking, whatever it is for you. I'm not judging any of that. But be honest with yourself. You're not doing any of these things because they're amazing. You're doing them because they help you stop feeling what you're currently feeling. And the trap is this. We keep doing the things we expect to make us feel better, but oftentimes they just leave us feeling worse off. Yeah, you get a little relief, sure, but then comes the guilt. Then comes the disappointment. Then comes the quiet thought of, why do I keep doing this? And over time, that does real damage. Not because of just the habit itself, say, but because it erodes all trust in yourself and who you are as a person, really. But this is the moment that actually matters. And here's where most advice goes wrong. People talk about being disciplined like it's intensity, like it's hype, like it's some all day personality trait. It's really not. Discipline shows up in very short windows of time, a few minutes, sometimes even seconds. And when that moment of the urge hits, that's where everything is decided. And that's where a technique actually can help. And this technique is called surfing the urge. The concept is really like this. Urges that lead to, that make us want to indulge in our bad habits, urges behave like waves. They build, they peak, and if you don't act on them, they eventually pass. But most people think urges will last forever, and therefore we have to, act on it. We have to indulge. But the thing is, it won't. And the problem really isn't the urge, it's the reflex to immediately escape. So instead of finding the urge or judging or panicking about it, you do something very simple. You notice it and you say, okay, this is what I'm currently feeling. Why might that be? You almost take an interest in it. Why might that be? What was I just thinking about? Were there any triggers that set me off to going down this path? In addition to that, like interest, you take a breath. You take 2 breaths and the urge rises, you let it peak, and you remind yourself that just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it. And that pause, that moment of pause, that is discipline. Now, here's the part that makes this usable in real life. Instead of taking the weight of your entire life on your shoulders, ask a much smaller question. What's one good decision I can make right now? Not forever, not perfectly, right now. Instead of the Boston cream donut, it's the Greek yogurt. Not because it's exciting or because it's going to make all the world a difference, but because it's slightly better. Instead of scrolling for another hour, you stand up. Instead of skipping the gym, you put your shoes on. Instead of numbing out, you close the tab. Small decisions, low drama, but high integrity. And here's where this really sticks. Because technique alone will fail you if you don't know why you're doing this. And this really matters. We're going to fuck around if we don't have a reason to be focused. And that's just reality. And people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because none of it feels meaningful. They're not connected to what they think they should be doing. And that's where our values come in. And we start making more value-based decisions. Ask yourself, what do I actually care about? Not in an abstract way, but in a real lived way. Look at your health, for example. Not just how you look, even though, that's important, but your ability to move, your ability to run, to lift, to exist in your body without feeling weak or limited. And when you make decisions based on that, discipline stops feeling like a punishment and starts feeling like self-care and self-respect. And same thing with your career, your relationships, your social life. You're not forcing yourself to act. You're acting in alignment with who you want to be. And this is where discipline starts to really click because it's not about today, it's about trajectory and direction. Discipline is following through on your word where it matters the most. Who do you want to be 2 or 3 years from now, and not a fantasy version of you, but a realistic one. Someone who shows up, someone who doesn't break their promises, someone who follows through, who doesn't try to constantly escape their life. And every small decision you make today is a vote for that person. And let me say this clearly. You're going to fuck up. You're going to fail. You're going to slip. You're going to mess up. You're going to default back to old habits sometimes. That does not mean none of this doesn't work and that you're a bad person and to go all hard on yourself. What matters is what you return to, which are those value-based decisions, acting in accordance to who you want to become and who you really are and want to be right now. And you stop running off momentum and you start running off your values and your future self, because momentum fades, but values endure. And if this video helped you understand why you sabotage yourself and these bad habits and how to pause in the moment instead of escaping, the real challenge is actually doing that on your own later. And that's why I created the free app, Bad Habit Breaker Ben. Ben is designed to help you slow down, reflect, and make one better decision in the moment using simple behavioral tools, not motivation nor hype. And if you want help applying what we talked about here today, you can access Ben completely for free using the link in the description below. Till next time.